speaker is talking about nuts using the steps. And we got Michael in. Let's get Michael in.
My name is Mike, and I am an addict. My sponsor asked me to talk about nuts not using the steps because I have done extensive research with the whole notion of just don't pick up no matter what and just don't work any steps. You know? And it is very insidious because what happens is when I have experimented with that, all my material things come back. All the trust from my family comes back. All this stuff starts coming back, right? I have a great car, a great job, great girl, great place to live. And then I lose everything, you know, and it's happened to me twice. I went to prison when I was 21, learned all about my disease. And I knew when I came out from prison, if I use again, I'm going to go back to jail. So I didn't use anything. And what happened is my family starts to trust me, so they start doing things for me to get my life going. And my brother was an EMT. He said, "I know I work with someone that's a felon, and he's a medic." And I said, "There can't be any way, you know." So I gave up. And my mom's on the phone calling CCAC, figuring it out. Right. Next thing I know, I'm going to Pitt to be a paramedic because the Board of Health granted me pass on my felonies and all this. I didn't do any of that on my own because I was not using and I wasn't working any steps, so I wasn't accepting my personal responsibility, you know. And she was just doing the best. She knew I was intelligent enough to go to school and get a good job, so she did all that for me. I'm no longer a paramedic. What happened was I didn't use for about 6 years in my 20s. I didn't use no matter what. I didn't go to any meetings, didn't work any steps. And after I started acquiring all this stuff, I started dating a great girl. I started off buying her diamond earrings on her birthday, diamond necklace, all this stuff. And that relationship ended with the U.S. Marshals kicking in her door to arrest me, right? She's probably forever damaged from that. She's like a real shy type of person, and I'll never forget the look on her face when they started hitting the door with the sledgehammer, you know? All her friends are like, "What happened?" I watch what other people do in these rooms, constantly watching, and I judge. And it's not to judge, it's put them down so I feel better. It's I watch what he does, that's working. I watch what he does, that's not working. Because I am terrified to use again. Everybody I know with extended periods of clean time, I see in the area service meetings. People that are struggling in this program, I never see in the area service meetings, you know. I get all these spiritual awakenings from the step work. You know? The drugs aren't my problem. The drugs have to go. But too much cocaine in my bloodstream was never my problem. You know, all the cocaine is gone from my bloodstream, and I'm still swearing at people in traffic for no reason. You know, years in prison, would have loved to have been in traffic, and I still do it, right? Which only tells me one thing: the drugs aren't my problem. I am. You know, the drugs have to go, or I won't get anywhere. But I need to work on myself. You know. And that's what the steps do. When I quit using, it's like a death in the family. I lost a best friend, I lost a loved one, which creates a huge void in my life. I try to fill that void with cars, motorcycles, women, all this stuff, and it does temporarily, but it's just like the drug. I'm just switching my addiction from cars to women, away from crack, you know. And then my family started saying, "Boy, you're doing really good," and we latch on to that, you know. And I'm not, because up here I'm not. It looks like I am. Social acceptability does not equal recovery. And when parents, I used to run a 3-quarter hours, and parents would call me asking questions. I said, "Don't ever tell him that he's doing good, right? Because he'll latch onto it, and the meetings start to go away. You know, that's my experience. Family starts telling me I'm doing good, and I used to think recovery was like an airplane, you know. The meetings get my life on a runway going faster and faster, and then I take off, the meetings stay behind. And that's what I did, and it's not the way it is. It's like what Andy was talking about before when he was speaking. It's the up escalator. I got to keep going up. Or, you know, it's going up a down escalator. You got to keep going up or you'll never get to the top because you're always going backwards as soon as you start standing still, you know. You know, people tell me, well, I go to 3 meetings a day, you know. That's not what I wasn't supposed to recover going to 3 meetings a day. That's fine to do that. You're in the right place. But the thing is, it's like, okay, I got a bad infection on my leg. Doctor gives me prescription for antibiotics. There's like 100 CVS's in this city. I can go to 3 CVS's a day and stand inside there for an hour every single day, right? Not taking the medicine, which is the steps. Doesn't matter. The pus is going to keep filling up. I'm in the right place. But I'm not taking the prescription. And I try to like simplify things in my mind on that type of level, because I'm like have like a mechanical mentality. I have to be able to figure things out. I had a sponsor, years ago, and we would talk and we would pray. And he said, "Okay, well now you're on step 2." And we would talk, we would pray. Now you're on step 3. I don't know what that means. I don't understand. I can't work it. But so I wound up using it again. But it's not his fault. I left the program. I quit going. I quit calling him all this. Some people can work a program like that. I can't do it. I have a sponsor now. I open the step working guide. First I read the step in the basic text. Then I read it, and it works out why. I read the tradition that goes along with it. I go through the 12-step work, the step working guide. I answer all the questions systematically. That's it. It's a mechanical way. Now I'm done with this step, and I go on, and I can see how I work each step individually on a daily basis. Step 1, 2, and 3. 10, 11, 12. I haven't formally worked 10, 11, 12 with my sponsor. I'm coming up on 4 years clean. I got to get moving. But what I did the first year I got clean was I went to work, I went to the gym, I went to a meeting, I went home, and I wrote something on my step. That's all I did. This much energy compared to all the energy I spent to use. People that are struggling, I watch them, and if I'm only doing this much, it can't be doing anything. It's impossible. And I'm not putting them down. But what I'm trying to say is I'm terrified to go to that level, to get back to that where I do absolutely nothing. I want to be successful, and I want to be happy, and I don't want to, I was speaking about before, I used to always feel like something bad was about to happen. That's all gone just with a very little bit of step work. What am I willing to do today to stay clean today? Very little compared to how much I was willing to do to stay high. That's all. No. A counselor asked me that because I was trying to get completed out of the outpatient, so I could go work more. She said, "What are you willing to do to stay clean today?" And that really stuck with me because I said nothing. Some days it's nothing. The only reason I'm still clean today and still alive is because of my higher power. I know it. People say you're crazy. I say it doesn't matter. I know. I know that without God, I have nothing. I don't have anything. I don't have cars. I'm not. I'm a carpenter. I have my own business. I don't have any of that without God's permission. What is grace? Grace is I get forgiven for undeserved forgiveness from all the terrible things I did. I hurt a lot of people, and I could say I'm sorry a million times. Coming to a meeting, doing some step work is the reason why I continue to get grace. People say, "Well, I have no desire to drink or use," and that's great. It's happened to me before, and that is one of the best gifts I've ever gotten from God. I didn't feel had no desire to use on Monday before I relapsed, and I relapsed on a Tuesday. No desire on Monday. I was in the 3-quart house saying, "His urine's cold. It's not coming up on the temperature strip. Get him out of the house," right? And on Tuesday I used. No step work. Didn't do any step work. I got up to my step 4 and I kind of fizzle out. I put a couple things down, put it aside, right? Just because I don't feel like using it today, it does not mean my recovery is on track. What means my recovery is on track is I'm doing the work to stay clean. And it doesn't really take that much, Who am I not to do the work? I used to, when I was in EMT, I used to take kids back and forth from Children's Institute to Children's Hospital, and they were really sick kids, and most of them aren't alive any longer. If you would have told them all you got to do is call one person a day and pray, they'd make 100 phone calls that day, and they've been praying all day. They have a disease that was incurable, and they pass on. At least, and I sit here, woe is me, I'm an addict, right? At least I have a way out, right? I have a way out if I do simple things. I don't deserve any awards. I don't deserve any. I don't even like to really tell people how good my life is because I don't want to brag. But what I'm trying to say is, all that is fine, and all the material things will come back. You don't have to worry about it. What you do have to worry about are you going to get to the point mentally where you watch yourself go use? Because that's what happens to me. I fell away from this program before, and I applied for a job that I really wanted. I got a call that I didn't get the job, and I watched myself drive down to Jack's on the south side and get some beer, and then, I don't know the drug dealers because I haven't used in years, but I know someone that sits in his basement and waits for someone to bang on his window so I can take him, somewhere to call. So I don't have to know the drug dealers because I know someone that knows him. That will never leave my mind where he lives. Alcohol is a drug. If I'm addicted to a liquid, I'm a liquid addict. There's no difference. It is what it is, right? I can't take anything that takes me out. I used to abuse baclofen, which is a muscle relaxer. I used to take a half a bottle of these. My dad has MS, so he has all these extra muscle relaxers for muscle spasm. And I would take half of them, and I would lay in bed, and I would feel like I would melt into the bed. It wasn't a narcotic, but I was abusing it. I'm on my feet a lot at work, and I started having muscle spasm in my leg. I will not take it. It's not a narcotic, but it doesn't matter. I used to abuse it. Personal responsibility, right? It does not matter. People talk about pain medicine and all this. And my mom gave birth to 2 boys with no pain meds. There has never been that much pain. I've never felt that much pain. Maybe if I would feel that much pain, I would consider it in a controlled setting. But what I'm trying to say is, I'll get through it. They used to amputate limbs on the battlefield with no pain meds, right? So I don't have to concern myself with the whole pain meds thing. When I pray, my life gets better. That's what the steps have taught me. The more I pray, the better my life gets. The less I pray, the worse my life gets. I really try to impart that on people. Meetings are awesome. This program has given me everything and more than I could expect in my life, But I have to continue. I don't graduate. I don't get a certificate from this program. When I finish the 12 steps, I start back over. Sponsoring people has caused me, so many rewards from sponsoring guys. And, a lot of guys aren't doing well right now, but it doesn't matter. I'm still clean just for today, And maybe a couple things I said to them. Well, once we learn about these 12 steps, the party's over. They'll be back if they're lucky, if it's God's will, But it's really been an honor to, be asked to speaker, because before, nobody wanted to hear anything I had to say, When I would run into someone on the south side that saw me, they would see me coming and they would cross the street. Because they didn't want to be anywhere near me because I'm a lunatic, So it's really heartwarming that someone cares what I have to say, and if you're new, give yourself a break, give it a chance, get a good sponsor, work some steps, and I guarantee you everything's going to be okay just for today. That's all I have. Thanks for
all right.